was making sure I was recording. All right, now we're going to place our waterfall on our 110-pound cardstock panel. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. I'm just going to place it at the top, line it up. Want it even. Okay, that looks good. See how I did that? Alright, and we're going to do the next one. Okay, put your glue here. You can use tape if you want to do that. It's totally up to you. Alright, now we're going to take this one and we're going to butt it up next to the previous line, making sure that we are straight. So if you don't want to clip yours, you don't have to. I notice you can see that a little bit. I'm not going to worry about it. I may put a strip of paper to kind of cover that up anyway. Okay, there's your waterfall. Make sure it's straight. Okay, so there we got the two first ones in. Okay, we'll do the next one. Kind of helps that these are two different colors, let you see what's going on. I don't particularly like it. I wish Michaels was consistent in their coloring of their craft cardstock. But it is what it is. Okay, I'm going to line this up with that last line. Making sure I'm even. Alrighty. Okay. See how I put that in. Okay, and we'll do the next one. Okay, line that up. Making sure you're even on the sides. Wipe off any excess glue. Okay. Okay. There you go. See how I butted it up? And then make sure that you're even here and here. Okay. See how that lines up nicely? Okay. Alright, we'll do the next one. You can make this as long as you want. Okay. I may cut a few more. We'll see how this works out. My problem is I only have one paper pad, and I only have 10 sheets in this paper pad. So I'm thinking about that as I'm designing this folio, because I don't want to completely run out of paper. You know what I'm saying? If I had a large paper pad, or if I had two of them, I could be more generous with my creation and add just a little bit more stuff to it. But because I'm limited on paper, I want to keep mindful as I'm creating this. Okay, I only have 10 sheets of paper, and really those 10 sheets, a few of the papers are cut aparts, a few of them are embellishment pages where, you know, you fussy cut, so they're technically not full sheets. Alright, so here we go. This is the last one that I cut. Alright, I do have some left over here. Okay, let me debate. Let me cut 2 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do 1 more sheet. What did we do that? We did it 5 by 6.5. So I'm going to cut my 6.5 inch side first. 6.5 by 5. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm sniffling. I don't mean to. 5, and then we'll do another 5, and then we'll score it. I'll throw this away. That's trash. Get my scoreboard. And then a score on the 5-inch side. Okay. Alright, here's 2 more waterfalls. And then I think we're good. That'll give us plenty of picture space. And we'll see if I have enough designer paper to fill it. If not, I don't know what we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to add 2 more. Put it up. Make sure it's even. Oops, I forgot to clip it. Oh well. That's okay. You don't have to clip it. Mine will be inconsistent. Oh well. No worries. Alright, last one. Put that up. Make sure it's even here. That looks pretty good. Alright, I'm happy. I'm happy with that. That gives us, wow, look at that. That's a nice waterfall. Even if I don't put any designer paper on it, that's good. You put your pictures on it, it'll look nice. But I'm going to try to put designer paper on the, at least on the front. If not, just at least on the tab part. So we'll see how it goes, okay? We'll see how much scrap I have left over. Alright, now what I want to do with this, so you have your waterfall on this, what I'd like to do is probably right underneath there, we're going to put a brad. And what I'd like to do is place this in such a way where it will pivot. Okay. I think I'm going to cut this little bit off. See that little bit right there? It looks like to be about It's a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch. Let me see. It's like 3/16. I'm going to try to cut that off because I don't like the way it looks. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it here. Alright. So I'll trim that off. Just so it's not, it's still kind of overhanging just a little bit. I don't like how that looks. Okay. I don't know. Oh. Okay. I think I got it. Yeah, see, I like that better. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now we're going to place this in the center. We really need to probably should select a paper to go down here first before we place this in here, because I'd like to have a border of a paper. And what I'm thinking is to put a brad in here, and then that way it will pivot. So let me get a brad, let me pick out the paper to go in here, and I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, so where I left this, I lost a part of my video. So the last time I left you, this was just a plain waterfall. There was no designer paper on it whatsoever. Okay, so I was going to select the paper back here in the background. I decided to select the horseshoes. I cut it 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. Okay, so that's what you want to do. Decide what portion of this paper you want to keep. I like the champion and the love and the freedom, so I took out the other part, but cut it 8 1/4 by 8 1/4 on your cutting tool. And what you want to do is there's a brad here, okay? So what you want to do is, before you glue this paper down, you want to center your waterfall. You want to take a pokey tool like this, okay? You want to poke a hole right in the center, poke a hole through your waterfall, and then through this paper here, okay? Then you're going to stick your brad in that hole to hold your waterfall to this paper, okay? And you'll separate the back of the brad. You know, you'll want to put that in the paper. So you want to spread it out. So you'll put this in the hole through your waterfall and through this paper, and then you want to spread these out, okay, to where it's taut. And you could put a little piece of tape on the back of this, okay? And then you'll want to glue everything down to the center of your waterfall, or of the center of this back panel, okay? That's how I put this waterfall into the folio. That part of my video I lost, so I just wanted to explain how I did that, okay? Alright. Okay, you guys, so I am trying to decide what I want to do as far as papers are concerned. So if you could set aside the page with this on the front, okay? And this is going to be our cover. I've cut a piece of dark brown paper. This is 8 1/4 by 8 1/4, okay? And then this is just a little bit smaller, and we are going to put this chipboard piece here. Now I did fussy cut this. You want to cut right at the tip of the rose, okay? I cut about 1/8 of an inch off here, so you want to do that, okay? So actually this is a 1/4, so you want to cut off a 1/4 from that side. You want to cut out the rose, and then you cut over at 8. Okay, this is an 8 by 8. So be sure to cut off a 1/4 of that side of that paper. You want to cut out the rose, and then from there you're going to cut it 8 by 8. Okay, and basically I'm thinking this is going to be the cover. We're going to add some flowers here and there, but set this aside for your cover. Okay, that's the cover of this album. Now when you open it, this is a scrap piece. I think I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put this flower design here. I'm going to put her here. I'll explain all that in a minute. But on this cover, since I'm limited on my papers, I'm taking a piece of cream cardstock. This is a shimmer cardstock from Michaels. You do not have to use a shimmer cardstock. If you have a vanilla or a white cardstock, that would be fine to put on here. You are going to cut it 8. It's just over 8 1/4, just a little bit. Okay, so just a tiny bit over 8 1/4. Okay, and we are going to place this on the inside flap with our big magnet. Okay, we're going to put that there. All right, I'm going to open up this up to place this. I'm going to open it all up to make this flat. Okay, because you have your waterfall under here. Okay, I put a little bit of tape on there. I'm also going to use glue. I'm going to place this in the center. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. This is just regular ATC tape that I put on here. I did it off camera. We're going to place this paper. I'm going to use a little bit of glue. This is going to be my base. Okay. Okay. put this in between. Ugh. Of course, I want to center it. Okay. Alright, that's on. That ain't going nowhere. That is on. Ugh. Okay. Alright. Now, this is rice paper that I got in my kit. I would suggest if you do this, if you do this folio, I would buy 2 paper pads. I'm going to make it work with one, but I'm using this rice paper as one of my papers because I did not get enough paper in this paper pad. I want to see if this rice paper will cut in my cutter. I want to cut off about 3/4 of an inch here. Let's see if this will work. I don't know. I've never cut rice paper before. If it doesn't cut, then I'm just going to tear it. But I'm going to see if this will cut. Ooh, very nice. I'm surprised it cut very well. How about that? Okay. I'm going to cut a little bit more off this edge here. Let's see. It seems like it's very, see, that didn't work so hot. That didn't work so hot. Dang it. Let me see if I can. I may need to tear it. Yeah. Alright, that's okay. That's okay, we're gonna tear it. Alright, because I want to place this here. Actually, I'm okay with that. Let me see. 8 1/4. Eight and a quarter. What do you know? Need to trim it a little bit more. I don't know if this will work. Okay. It's okay. Alright, this is what we have. I am going to, I guess I need to decoupage glue this. I don't know how else to put this rice paper down because I don't think regular glue is going to hold it all. I think I'm going to need to use decoupage. So, turn my fan off because that just blew away. Kind of wanted to tear a little bit just to give it some interest. Kind of make it look like the other tear was done on purpose, you know, here. Yeah. Okay. Take a little bit of ink. See if I can ink the edges a little bit. I don't know. I don't ever work with rice paper, you guys. This is really my first time. Okay. I like that. I like that. All right. So let me get some decoupage, Mod Podge, matte finish. So here we got some Mod Podge. I'm gonna give this a try, you guys. I don't know. I may need to put down some protection here. Let me get some wax paper because I don't want to make a mess. Okay. I've got some wax paper here, just in case. Alright. We are going to put some Mod Podge on the back of this. I am going to move that up. Can you see me? Let's see. Okay, here we go. Alright, I don't know, you guys. I've never done this. We're going to give it a shot. Just going to put some Mod Podge on this. I hope this works, you guys. I think it'll work. Oops. Okay. Alright. Now, I got the Mod Podge on. Boy, you gotta be really careful with this, don't you? Alright. Now, let me bring this in view. I'm going to peel this off. And let me get this out of the way. Get that out of the way. OMG. Okay. Now, I got my piece. It's all wet. You know, it's not perfect, but I don't know. It's okay, you guys. Not my favorite technique. Not my favorite technique. It is pretty. A little bit of a bubble right there. But you know, it's not flat on the other side. We have our waterfall on the other side. So, I mean, it's okay. I would prefer paper. Maybe when it dries, it won't be so bubbly. I feel like it's a little bubbly. I don't know if I want to put Mod Podge over the cover, over the front of it. Maybe it'll give it. It's okay, you guys. It's like I said, this is not my favorite technique, but since I'm running out of paper, or I'm not running out of paper. I have limited paper here. Okay, we're going to let this dry. It's a little bit bubbly, but I think, what's going on? What's going on? Okay, hey you guys, I'm back. Alright, so here's where we are with the folio. I have decorated some pages, so I'm going to go over with you what I've done and give you the measurements and everything. So we have our front cover still set aside. I've already showed you that, you guys, that. I did decide on the back of the folio, we're going to take this sheet with the cut aparts, and we I cut that down, and I think this is part of it, yeah. So this is part of that page, and then there's another section over here. So if you want to go ahead, and if you would like to put this on the back of your album, you can go ahead and cut this out. I did put a base layer of just regular brown cardstock. That's going to measure 8 3/8 by 8 3/8 for the brown, and then the design paper is going to be about 8 1/8 by 8 1/8. Okay, and then I inked the edges. I went ahead and used the Graphic 45 Decades. I think this is, yeah, dark cashmere. So I use that around the edges. You can also use Tim Holtz Distressed Ink Walnut Stain, or you could even use Vintage Photo or whatever brown ink you would like to use. There's also this one, which is permanent. So go ahead and do that and glue that on the back. So that's the back. We'll add the spines later. Of course, we'll add the front later too. So when you open it up, this is the decoupage piece that I did with the Mod Podge. We went over that in the last video. I'm okay with how it turned out. Now, if you want to buy 2 paper pads for this, go ahead and do so. You could definitely put something else that you like, maybe the one with the horseshoe. There's another. You could even do this or something else there if you'd like. Now for this, we made the pocket. I went ahead, this is just a scrap that I cut down. This measures 3 3/4 by 8 1/8. So, and then I inked the edges. Also, I used this horse paper, and I didn't cut it too deep, just enough to cover. I think I cut it 4 1/2. You could do a little bit more if you like. You could do 5 and by 8 and it's a little less than 8 1/4. Okay, just a shy bit less than 8 1/4 there. Okay, so it would slip in the pocket. So I did that. I cut a photo mat. This measures 6 1/4 by 6 3/4, and I just took my corner rounder and rounded the edges. So that goes in here. Then I took a piece of pink shimmer cardstock from Michaels. You could use plain pink cardstock or any color you'd like. I cut it 5 1/2 by 6 1/4. I also rounded the corners. That goes in there like so. And then I took a Graphic 45 tag, regular tag, and we will cover that in a little bit with some leftovers. So that goes in there. Okay, next. This is our tag pocket page. I covered it with the pretty floral. This measures 8 1/4 by 7 1/4. Okay. Turn it over. Then I use the crinkle paper with the flowers. I cut that 8 1/4 by it's almost 7 1/2, not quite 7 1/2 on this. I wanted a little bit less borders than this. That's why the measurement's a little bit different. You can make your borders as thick as you'd like. If you want to cut it 7 1/4, you can definitely do that. Okay. The next page. And we will still decorate. So this is just covering, I'm just going over covering the pages right now. Alright, so now we have this. I don't remember if I did this with you guys, but this is measures about 7 3/8 by 8 1/4. If you want to make a little bit thinner at borders, you can definitely expand that out by 1/8 of an inch or so. So that goes there. Turn it over. This is just your flip page, okay? And we will decorate this. This I used the brown. I don't see it now. I want to just find the scrap, but oh, here it is. So I have this goes at the top, and then this was, it was like this, it was like that. Anyways, so you get the idea. That was the page. This is the one with the horse, and I thought about using the horse, you guys, but then I felt like I wouldn't want to put a picture over the horse's face, so that's why I didn't use the horse. This I can add a picture, and I can add some chipboard pieces to kind of decorate. That's why I used that page. So this measures a little over 8 1/4 by 7 1/2, and I inked the edges. Alright, next is our center panel. This is where we have the openings that flip. I don't have enough designer paper to cover these, so I decided to use this Recollection Pink Shimmer cardstock. You can use brown, you can use just a solid pink that you have on hand. You can really use any color you like. If you like blue or green or cream, whatever you like. If you bought a second pack of paper, you could use the designer paper for this step. But I just decided to cover it in solid color, and then I'll use elements from the collection to decorate. So the first flap, I cut this 4 3/4. It's a little bit over 4 3/4 by 8, and not quite 8 1/4. Okay, so yeah, it's almost 1 2, it's a little over 4 3/4, and then this one is about, it's closer to 8 1/8. And then what I did before I glued it down, I put a piece of paper there so I could see the edges, and then I glued it down. So you want to do that when you're gluing these. I didn't put anything here yet because I'm thinking I might put some designer paper on this. This one again, it looks like it's almost 4 7/8, not quite, and then that's 8 1/8. Okay, and then I did again pink on this side, pink on that side, and then I did brown. Okay, all these pretty much measure the same, 4 3/4 by 8 1/8. So And then I use this paper in the center. This measures 7.5 by 8.25. 7.5 by 8.25. Alright. So that's that. So we have the browns on the center, then the pink. I'm going to put some designer paper here, and we're going to decorate this with chipboard pieces and maybe even flowers. Now I haven't done this yet. I have some scrap pieces that I think I'm going to save for here. And then on this, I would like to put a piece of designer paper here. And then I may alternate pink, brown, pink, brown, pink, brown on this. I haven't decided yet. Okay, so that is what I've done with the folio so far. And, you know, rather than making this video so long, and cutting and gluing each piece, I figure I'd just go over it with you, and you can cut the designer papers to your liking. You may not like how I put mine in. You may decide to decorate yours totally different from me. So that's totally up to you. I think for my tags here, I'm going to use this scrap piece. I like these diamonds. So on, I think one, I'm going to use the Graphic 45 die. I think I'm going to use it on this one for that. And then I'm going to do this side over here. So that's my plan on that. Then I haven't decided on this one yet. Then on this, let's see, I think I may use this on one or that. Well, see, I don't know if I'm going to do, I'm thinking about putting this because that will coordinate with this. Thinking about putting that there.